Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Jackie Cheng. I'm an artist, an art educator, and a facilitator based in Broome, WA. One of the best ways to be a workshop facilitator is to model a favorite person who has greatly influenced you in your career. It could be your teacher, a university lecturer, a community volunteer, an influential member within the creative industry, or even a family member. All these people have one common ingredient, and that is the memorable impression that they gave you that gained your respect. Some of the best facilitators are the ones who care and engage with their participants. So how can you be the best workshop facilitator? Creating a safe and friendly space for your participants is a really important element. Ensure you detail all the important information about safety of tools, the mediums you use during your workshop time, and care for health after workshop. Because some participants may be inspired by your delivery and may model your workshop setup and continue to work at their own pace in their home environment. Hence the importance of acknowledging all these occupational health and safety practices in all art forms. Move around the room to engage your audience. Share your mishaps and what you have learned from your mistakes. More so than often, this really relaxes your participants to know that the first go is not always about perfection. It is about the learning journey. You could also ask your participants' creative journey. Perhaps share some similarities. Over the years of facilitating workshop, I've realized one of the important components is to acknowledge different types of learners. Use simple and direct English language delivery to engage with your learners. Be attentive to each learner's background, as sometimes English may not be their first language. Some of the tips may include breaking up the workshop with lots of imagery samples to inspire. Perhaps break up the demonstration techniques into different components to allow participants to be more receptive. You may suggest to repeat the demonstration if you have a large participation numbers. The shy participants will tend to ask their neighbor or quietly figure out something they don't understand. Reading the room dynamics is a real skill because that is what a facilitator does. They facilitate. Putting learnings into practice. Depending on your workshop mastery level, sometimes a series of lectures to discuss concepts and ideas are ideal to kickstart the course of the workshop. This may allow time for participants to research more into the works and concepts that interest them prior to the actual doing workshops. More often than not, the workshop becomes incredibly engaging when your participants feel that they were given the time and opportunity to explore. So be attentive to how your learners are engaging with you. You may want to break up the demonstration steps and lecture series and allow time for each participant to delve into their little experimentation time. Sometimes delivering constructive guidance and feedback is vital as a process for the development of your creative processes in your workshop. Often in a workshop series, there is time for constructive feedback guided by you, the facilitator. It is your ideas and responses that lead the discussion. This really helps your participants track their own progress and development too. So depending on your cohort, some feedback could be in written form, or some could be through anonymous surveys, or they may choose to verbally provide you feedback. Sometimes participants would really enjoy a critique session and the level of mastery in your workshop. A role of a facilitator is to help find ways to improve their creative practice with generous sensibility that is balanced with a constructive approach and not criticize the work. The real purpose of a constructive guidance and feedback is to allow the creative goals realized in your supportive environment. This may also impact the growth of confidence for some participants. I think personally, it is sometimes about celebrating the small achievements and learning from others. So as a facilitator, you are also developing yourself as a competent, industry-relevant practicing artist. Let's talk about emotional intelligence. This is not a clinical aspect of emotional intelligence. Simply put, the emotional intelligence here I'm referring to is the aspect of being present and aware towards your diverse cohort and their surroundings. Sometimes self-motivation, social skills, and empathy is key to a successful workshop. If your facilitation workshop takes you to a remote location with diverse communities where cultural awareness and protocol is required, your engagement and participation in working alongside elders and local community members is incredibly important to build a long-lasting, respectful working relationship. So be sure to be in contact with relevant community members and/or agencies to discuss opportunities. That's the final part of the series, and I really hope you've gained enough insight into how to facilitate a workshop. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Jackie Chang Art on Instagram or Facebook, or even via my website. I'll be delighted to answer any of your questions throughout your journey as a workshop facilitator. My name is Jackie Chang, a practicing artist, art educator, and facilitator. Thank you for joining me in How to Be a Facilitator.